Today, I'm summoning for every ultra in the game. And no, this is not a compilation vid. These are all brand new summons that you've never seen before on the channel. And I want to see, by summoning on every banner, how many ultras can I pull today? Starting with Ultra UI Goku. Now, obviously, I've had a lot of comments lately about how I'm carried by stars, which, you know, if you want to believe that, go for it. However, I don't red 7 everything. I don't know, maybe because I made a video where I red 7'd one of the anniversary characters, but like, listen, I don't red 7 everything, okay? Like that is not something that I do. I actually need a ton of these ultras, specifically ultras too, because they're low rates. You need to pull 5 copies of them. So many ultras currently sitting in my box are not red 7. So I actually need several of these guys in this video, which is why I had the idea to summon for every ultra in the game, including Hit, who is one very specifically that I do not have at red 7. And this is going to be a theme as we go through this, but also I never really went back and these are like some of the first times you're ever seeing me summon on these ultra banners since that initial time that I would have made videos on them and maybe some dual summons, because I'm not someone to really go back in on these banners. I just had this idea to do this video and summon on every ultra ever basically in one video, because I don't go back and I don't resummon on these guys. So it just kind of makes sense to do it as a video to see if I can get some more stars. And while some of these guys obviously have fallen off, I think that for the most part, some of these videos I've made recently, you can still get wins with any character, right? At the end of the day, I do still believe that gameplay is going to triumph stars. Now, if you are at an even skill level, then yes, stars can make a difference. But if there is a skill diff, then for sure, there's going to be a point where there is going to be a point to where obviously if you have the skill, you can beat someone. You just can. That is fortunately enough how these games work. Now granted, there are gimmicks, but it's learning to play around the gimmicks. You may not like the gimmicks, but learning to play around them is definitely part of this game. And while the gimmicks have gotten extreme this year for sure, in the last like 12ish months, this game has always had gimmicks, so you've had to play around to some extent. It's going to be Legends Limited.
You are not going to survive this.
Dang it, Evolution Vegeta. Why, man? Why?
Now it's time for
I want to see the beautiful ultra just pop up, boom, in my face. Now for these ultras specifically that I am missing stars on, I'm going to do probably a full rotation on them, and maybe some of them that are very, very good that I really want to get some more stars on. We may even do a couple rotations on them. So hopefully you guys are here for this content. And I'm sure I mentioned it earlier, but I'm gonna mention it again right now. Hit that like button, and also consider subscribing. We're putting out tons of Legends content. Would love to have you guys subscribe. And another big thing too, right? We are on the approach to Sparking 0. So if you are someone who is very excited for Sparking 0, we will be covering that so much here on this channel that you will not want to miss a single second of it. Plus, again, everything related to Legends, whether it be theory videos trying to predict the characters that are going to release, to reactions, to gameplay, to summons, to every aspect of this game, to doing fun, crazy challenges, like using characters that people just don't use that much anymore. They will all be here on this channel, so consider subscribing. We're having a ton of fun with it. I hope you guys have been just genuinely enjoying the content. I always enjoy doing these summoning videos because I get to share these moments with you guys that hopefully we pull an ultra at some point in this video. But then I'm able to like actually talk and discuss things with you guys, which is hard to do when I'm fighting people or collabing and doing all those things, because we're having conversations or I'm having to truly engage with just the fight itself. And so being able to have this like more one-on-one time with you guys through your screen, whether I'm on your phone, your iPad, your laptop, your camera, you're Chromecasting me, throwback to that. There's so many new people around here these days, crossing 1 million subs, covering Legends the way I have. I'm sure people don't even get that when I do that in the group summons, when I say Chromecast picture in picture, because it just used to be a thing I would say sometimes, and it became a thing I would say every time that we did a group summon. But enough about group summons. Let's talk Sparking Zero. I'm very curious if you guys are actually excited about Sparking Zero, because I know with the Legends content, I have to imagine most of you are, but I also know that like Legends can be played on so many different devices, and with Sparking Zero you have to have either a PC capable of running it, which I haven't looked at the PC specs, or if I don't even know if they've released them, but I have to imagine, at least for it to look the way you've probably seen it in all the footage that me and all the other YouTubers are captured and what Bandai's put out, it looks really good. So it's probably going to take at least a beefy, I would assume at least a 1000 series RTX card or higher, or the AMD equivalent, or you'll need a PS5 and Series X. I've seen a lot of comments wishing that it was on the Switch and the old gen consoles, and from terms of just like access to a wider variety of people, I would agree with you, but at the same time there's things that game is doing, like the one specifically that I've seen many of people mention. I just think that with what it's doing, and again specifically for the character select screen into the actual gameplay, if you guys haven't seen that, we probably just did it on screen, but that is probably that's not possible on a Switch, that's not possible on a PS4, on a series, maybe with like the most godlike coding of all time, ayo. But my guess is that the new hardware, the new increased capabilities are what allowed that. And so I'm very curious as to how many of you watching, if you have access to a PlayStation 5 and a Series X or a solid PC, are you picking up Sparking Zero? I would like to imagine that you are, but I also know that those aren't like everyone's cup of tea. I have a buddy of mine, he and I loved Budokai. We were massive Budokai heads. That like a lot of my friends, when it was like when I was a child and getting to act, when I was a child actually getting to play like, the local Dragon Ball Z experience, it was on the original Budokai games, not Budokai Tenkaichi. Matter of fact, I still got to play with some of my friends, but like the friend group dwindled in terms of getting together and having like these big tournament style things, because we used to go to my neighbor's house and have these massive tournaments on Budokai, and it was so awesome, it was so sick, and that didn't really carry over into Budokai Tenkaichi. I still had friends that would play that, but Tenkaichi, when those came out, those were like, just the friend group had dwindled. And so I have a lot of friends that just are not big into the arena fighter stuff. They prefer fighters, and they prefer the Budokai style, which Budokai is just essentially Tekken if you never played one of those. I hope that you did, but if you didn't, it's very, very Tekken-esque. It's a back and forth fighter where there's not like a bunch of it's not an arena fighter essentially. It's really the best way to describe it. It's like I don't know, what do you call a Tekken game, like a 3D, because you're not on like you're not fighters where you're on just like a straight plane. You can still like go around and stuff like that. But anyway, several of my friends are way more into that style, but I think for the sake of just getting, damn, it is a Legends Limited. As of filming this, filming this part of this video, that guy actually cannot Zenkai yet. He's not got his Zenkai. That's why he's not Zenkai. I'm so excited about doing this type of video, where it just kind of sort of like spans the different releases of when they bring these ultras back and putting them all together in one big video for you guys to enjoy. I think it's really cool. If you haven't noticed, I'm doing more summons on the characters I really, really do need the Z power on, because again, I don't have all the ultras Red 7. But anyways, yeah, so Sparking Zero is going to actually bring back a lot of people, I think, to Dragon Ball games in general, because even, and all this had a reason, even my friends that really didn't get into the BT games and like they haven't played really Dragon Ball game, fighters brought back some of them, but for the most part, like the arena fighter stuff and all of that didn't really interest them that much. This is actually going to bring a good chunk of them back to Dragon Ball games for the first time, for some of them in 20 years, because like the last game they really played was Budokai 3, which came out in 2004. So it really would be a full 20-year gap between playing a Dragon Ball game for them. And every time one comes out, because even before I was a YouTuber, I would have friends literally text me like, is the new Dragon Ball game good? Because they knew I was that guy, like whether I was going to play it a lot or not, because I've talked about this plenty of times. There's plenty of these games I didn't go that deep into, but I was always going to buy them and play them a little bit because Dragon Ball. And so even before I was, Nanogenix and a guy on YouTube making these Dragon Ball videos, my friends would still text me to be like, what's the deal with this Dragon Ball game? Like, is it good? Is it not? And I'm like, why are you asking me? Because I know you're not going to get it anyway. Like, you're not going to get it even if I tell you it's the best game of all time. And they're like, true. But this one, Sparking Zero specifically, has got so many more of my friends that even some I've not even talked to in a while actually texting me and going like, yo, like I saw the vid, is it though? And I'm like, it really is. Like, it's that game. It's going to bring so many of you guys back. And I really hope I don't think they've said it unless I missed it somewhere. Again, as of filming this, there's constantly stuff coming out. Please, no. Damn it, dude. When am I going to pull an ultra in this ultra video? God, these rates, dude. But I hope it has local world tournament. I hope it has online world tournament too, but I really hope it has a local world tournament system. I feel like it almost has to, because I want to be able to dive into world tournaments with my friends IRL. I think that's going to be one of the best gaming experiences that I can have in 2024 and going into 2025 as well, is just doing a local world tournament back on a Dragon Ball game that is actually really good with my friends. And what's going to be so interesting when Sparking Zero is here is I know there's still going to be a lot of people that are like glazers for fighters and the Xenoverse 2 glazers, and then now you're going to Sparking Zero glazers, and they're all going to like compete because they're all going to be kind of sort of coinciding, because Bandai Namco announced that they're doing more stuff with fighters, not DLC, at least not yet, but like they're working to bring more balance patches. I think there was a balance patch that came out and a lot of people assumed that was it. Like they assumed that was the end of fighters, that was the final balance patch for fighters, and maybe they even kind of sort of talked it that way, and then now they've came out and said like no, they're going to do more, and they're doing I think they're even doing the Fighters World Tournament again, or the Fighters World Cup and all that again, which I don't think people expected either. So I think Bandai does realize that they're sitting on a gem there with fighters. It's so incredibly well. But you're gonna have all these people like arguing over which one is like the better in the franchise, and that's gonna be fun. But I will say, like, I still stand by the fact that I think Fighters, even after Sparking Zero comes out, is probably still like the best made Dragon Ball game, because it gets to focus on less characters and more so on just the pure raw like mechanics, and just that game is just, again I know whenever everyone has their opinion, and this is my opinion, but I just think Fighters, even after Sparking Zero comes out, is still going to be the best made Dragon Ball game literally of all time. Like I think, you know, Arc System Works is a very beloved and very renowned developer, and so them coming on, and nothing against the other guys that have made Dragon Ball games, but I think they just have like this certain sauce that they're able to add to these games that just adds a level of quality that we haven't really seen before. But I can also, I'm not saying it's like my favorite Dragon Ball game, because it isn't. I can just recognize the level of production that went into that game and how good that game is, just at like its core raw like base value of what that game offers to the Dragon Ball community. But enough glazing of fighters, and again, I know some of you guys will disagree with me, but I'm not saying it's the best. I'm not saying it's even my favorite. I'm just saying I think fundamentally it is the best made Dragon Ball game that of all time. But I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but I will say what I will say 100% is that I even with only the 30 minutes of hands-on time of Sparking Zero, please let this be for an ultra. We now know that Broly animations can be for ultras. I will stand by the statement that I think Sparking Zero is going to be infinitely just better than Xenoverse 2. And I know there will be some people that will argue that and will swear on everything that Xenoverse 2 is the better game, but I will definitely sit here and have like the most whatever opinion and just say that like I do genuinely think Sparking Zero is going to blow Xenoverse 2 out of the water in terms of its feel, its mechanics, especially its looks. Xenoverse 2, well, I will continue to play that game, and I have enjoyed the DLCs. Okay, cool. I have honestly enjoyed the DLC. I can never get over the in-game oily look of the characters, and please no. Oh, dude, an ultra video where I can't get an ultra. Is this real? Please, for the love of everything, just one, man. Just a singular drop of an Ultra Legends, please. Please. It's been so long since I've seen the pop. Because as of filming this right now, this Tyler does not know what part 3 is. I have no idea what part 3 of the anniversary is. Now, by the time you're watching this, I'm pretty positive there will be the part 3 Ultra or Ultras in this video. But right now, again, that's why I think this video is so cool. You're watching someone who has no idea what they are doing for part 3 of the Ultra, even though it is in this video. Me in like 5, 10, 20, maybe 30 minutes in this video will literally be summoning on that Ultra. So that's kind of a crazy feeling, but I don't know. So I have not pulled an Ultra technically since Golden Frieza 3 months ago. Has it been 3 months since Golden? Yeah, dude. So I said like a long time since I've seen that Ultra pop up. Please, Legends, just show me what an Ultra looks like again. Please. Especially on this one with Ultra Gohan. Yes, I'm being toxic. Is it possible that in this video I'm literally summoning for an ultra that counters this Gohan hard from the anniversary? I do think, and I won't talk too much on this because it dates it really hard, but I do think that that ultra is either going to be red or purple. I know that we just got Gohan that's purple, but like, I think that the ultra will be red or purple. Ooh. All right, Rainbow Text, man. It'd be making all the things go off in my head and be like, yeah, this is nice. This is nice. All right, come on. Please, bro. Ultra Gohan. Here we go. Here we go. Please, 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 please. Come on. You guys, you all know you want to see it. You want to see it. We're pretty deep in this video. You definitely want to see the ultra pop up. It's gonna be sick. It's a legend of it. It's not. Please.
Please protect the plants, the animals, protect this world I loved.
Oh! Yeah!
Not gonna let you get away with this.
Let's go. Oh my gosh. If there was an ultra, at least right now, that I wanted to pull in this video, that again, as you can see, I needed, it was him. Let's go, dude. Red 7 Ultra Gohan. Now we've got Ultra Kid Buu, and also I'm honestly just happy that we got an ultra in the video, because we're getting pretty deep into this video, and to just have Legends Limited in an ultra video, oh god, on Ultra Kid Buu, really? Every ultra one video, dude. I just like, I'm so excited to get this video out for everyone to see it. It's one of those where if you fully understand how Legends works and how these banners are arriving and stuff, you know that like there's actually some solid amount of like pre-thought and all of that put into this video. And I'm sure some of you guys clicked on it, and I had to immediately tell you it's not a compilation video. These are all new summons you've never seen. We're live summoning on everything. I don't know. I think it's cool. I'm excited for you guys to see this. What else I'm excited for, as I've already talked about, is with Sparking Zero. But that is sparked. I'm a dad, you guys. I can make these corner jokes. That actually sparked what I'm very excited about doing, which is playing a lot of old retro Dragon Ball games, which now we're summoning for Ultra Janemba. So yes, keep marking the ultras off the list of every ultra in the video. But retro games, I have not went back. Like, I talk about this to Dotto all the time with playing, or not playing, but watching old stuff. Like, I've never rewatched Dragon Ball Z. It's why I have a podcast completely dedicated to rewatching Dragon Ball Z. So I'm not someone that goes back and plays these old games. And so I'm really excited, genuinely excited about playing some of these old games realistically for the first time in like 20 years. Because Budokai 1 came out in 2002, and I played the crap out of that game because I finally had, first off, growing up, you know, I don't know, I mean, we didn't have Steam summer sales, bro. Like, games were just expensive. They're like, until a game became a greatest hits, and even then that was still expensive. Like, you just didn't get games like ever. So I played the fire out of Budokai 1 because it was like one of the only PS2 games I had, and it was finally an actual Dragon Ball game I had. Holy crap, there's a lot of SPs in my possession to actually get to play. But now we are summoning for Ultra Golden Frieza, marking another one off the list. I need 2 Ultra Golden Friezas. I actually do. We are definitely lacking on the Z power for him. He's still really, really good, and his value is so insane. Like, this guy, I think, is going to age probably better than several other characters that released this year, simply because of his comeback mechanic, right? The fact that he does that damage, he is no matter what going to come back. I mean, I think that they will eventually make that a mechanic that can be nullified when it is on more characters. Like, when, you know, endurance was not on like every freaking character under the sun, right? Like, Used to be a time where that was on such few characters, and then it started getting on more and more. And maybe I'm misremembering how quickly they introduced endurance nullification, and they may have even introduced it immediately at the same time that they introduced endurance. But I could see at some point there being a character that can nullify comeback, because you have to imagine we're going to see more characters with comeback. Who knows? Who knows? I might be, because again, if you understand how these banners work, you know I'm still technically summoning right now before the part 3 ultra, so there might be another ultra literally in this video that has a new comeback mechanic, or, and I doubt it, that has a way to cancel the comeback mechanic. But that in itself is so strong. The Golden Frieza himself is really strong. The tags that, you know, I mean, powerful opponent is just that's a tag that, whether it be characters you actually want or not, should be constantly getting something. There is something in this, by the way. I really hope it is an Ultra Golden Frieza. Come on, please. Please! Oh my god, where is it? There's something in this! No.
It is your destiny to be
Frieza. It's a Frieza. Ah, man, dude. I really thought that might be our ultra, bro. I really thought we were about to get our next ultra in the video. We could hear though. Hang on. So yeah, so I think this guy is going to have longevity for quite some time. Plus, just his kit is really strong. He's like freaking Ultra Gohan. Like, Ultra Gohan has so much utility. Wait, blue. Okay, we don't have to watch it. I'm not skipping we're not skipping ultra summons though. I'm sorry. I just, like, the thing is with ultras is they are still so rare and you just don't see them so often that, like, unironically, it could happen at any, like, these EXs could just like snap into an ultra and it wouldn't surprise, it would surprise me, but also wouldn't, because I don't know, they are so rare and they could happen at any point without, matter of fact, if I were to probably look back, because there are still so few ultras in the game, if I were to look back and look at all my ultra summons, I probably have pulled at least 50% of them on multis without any animations. Like, I would almost put money on that. Like, not even playing, I would almost put money on the fact that I probably pulled at least half of them without an actual animation. But anyway, yeah, I really would want to get an Ultra Golden Frieza here. I think it'd be really, really sick. And I hope I'm correct in the fact that comeback does not get nullified for quite some time. So that, again, that by itself, not including everything else Ultra Golden Frieza has in his kit, is already strong enough to warrant him staying like on a top whatever list for quite a while. But then you add in everything else that he brings to the table and you're like, okay, this dude's just like crazy. I mean, literally a mechanic that is like Bardock and Goku, but it also does damage. It's literally Bardock and Goku, but it does damage because it currently cannot be nullified. Man, it probably will be though, huh? It probably will be. It's just when will that be? Who knows? Man, we're starting out in blue. I still pray on everything at some point. Well, A, we get new animations, but B, the Bardock and the Super Saiyan Blue is actually a thing. Can I lose? Okay. We don't need to see it. But yeah, so back to the conversation. I really want to get started on playing some retro games, and I actually want to bring them to the channel. It'd actually be really cool if by the time you're watching this, there's another one live. Like, that would be, or there is one of them live. That'd actually be really, really, really sick. I want to do it because I just kind of want to do like a build up to Sparking Zero. And I know that's like not the most original thing. I know pretty much probably everyone with a Dragon Ball channel is like thinking that and probably going to do that. But again, as I mentioned, as someone who's not played them, it's almost going to be like kind of playing them for the first time. You know, I think probably in terms of hours, you know, I also am on record in the podcast. I really don't know anything about Infinite World. I bought Infinite World, but I'd already had a PS3 at that point for like 2 years. And I was like, oh, cool. This is literally just basically Budokai 4. And I played it with a couple of my friends a few times. And then that's pretty much, you know, I don't know. I was a kid. And at that point, I had a PS3 that I like literally worked for. I mowed like yards and stuff to be able to afford it. And buy my own PS3. It was like I went halvesies in. It was like my family promised that if I could save up half of the PS3, because they were $600 freaking back in that, and more expensive than the PS5, dude. And with inflation, they were like infinitely more expensive. So $600 back then is probably like what, like $1,000 right now. Like the PS3 is almost 20 years old. So anyway, I mowed yards and stuff, and like I paid for half and my family paid for the other half. Anyway, and so I already had a PS3 and I was a kid, and so I was just like no, like this is a PS2 game. Like I want to play you know, Burst Limit or whatever it was at the time. But I played it and was like, oh, this is really basically Budokai 4, but I've never touched the story mode. Dotto has talked to me multiple times about the story mode, and even Ryan mentioned it the other day to me too. The story mode apparently is really good in Infinite World, so I want to touch on that one as well. But anywho, beyond mentioning that, I have a lot of hours in Budokai 3. Probably the least amount of hours in the 3 main Budokai games is probably 2. I don't remember that much about 2. I remember that it was a board style story mode, but I just don't remember that much about what 2 did. I know that it was when we got to be cell shaded and all of that. Like it was, you know, a big jump in terms of for me, how much I liked the aesthetics of it. But I don't remember a lot of how that went. I can't remember if you start out from the beginning of Z and then go to the... I know that Boo is in it because that's the game that has the really cool Boo forms, but I can't remember if it goes across the span of Z or if it picks up where Budokai left off and you just do Majin Buu Saga. That doesn't sound right, though. I imagine it spans the entirety of Z. It's just been a long time since I played that one. Because then I know Budokai 3, if I remember correctly, is the one where you actually choose your character and then you go across... It's been a long time. When I talk about like how many hours I have in these games, though, a lot of it is just like fighting friends, right? Fighting like for it. Well, I say that Budokai 1 was a lot of also solo play too. Damn it, dude! Are we not? No Alter Golden Frieza? Speaking of just old Dragon Ball games, I'm on a itch. I talked about this earlier in the year where I was trying to collect like GameCube games, or was considering getting a GameCube because I never owned one, and I thought it would be cool to finally like get a GameCube and get some GameCube games, because I know emulation is in a really good space. Trust me, I have a few tiny little emulation projects here and there, but there is something about playing a game where I'm the one that physically puts the disc in, and like I'm playing actually with the GameCube controller on the TV the way it was meant to be played, including in the lower, you know, res and all of that. Like that is something I'm really craving. I'm not gonna lie. So I am kind of collecting some old games because we talk about this all the time, and I'm sure most of you guys are the same way, but like obviously even now I don't have endless funds, but I can usually get the games I want to play. But as a kid, you know, I think as a kid, most people, you just don't really have the option to play any and every game. Like that's not, like, games are just far too expensive. And so I only had like a handful of games. I was a PS2 kid. I didn't have an Xbox or GameCube. So I had a PS2. And then obviously from there got a PS3, worked on a PS3. I mowed yards. I wasn't old enough obviously to have like a job yet, but I mowed yards and saved up a bunch of money and bought a PS3. Anyways, so I never had a GameCube. My neighbor had a GameCube, but he didn't have a bunch of like the classic games. I think he had Melee, one of the 007, he had actually two of the 007 games, Agent Under Fire and Nightfire. Those were classics, by the way. Those were so much fun. He had a game I think called Calling All Cars. It was like a battle car type game that was like really fun, kind of like Twisted Metal. But anyway, I didn't have a bunch of games, and so what I'm trying to do right now is like, because if you guys have not looked into old style like gaming right now, like there are probably tons of your even PS3 and 360 games that are worth their retail price right now or more. I was talking to Sauceman about this, and I messaged him because he's a huge GameCube guy. I think he was a GameCube kid, and I sent him a picture of Twilight Princess and sent him a picture of one of the Pokemon Coliseum games, I think. And I never played those. Obviously, my neighbor didn't have them, and I didn't have a GameCube, so those are some of the games I never played. And the only real Zelda game before Breath of the Wild that I really ever did play, since I was not a Nintendo guy, I did have a Wii, but all I had on the Wii was BT3, Smash, Brawl, which I really liked Brawl, and Resident Evil 4, and like one other game maybe. Like I didn't have any Wii games. Anyway, so Twilight Princess is like a $200 game, bro. What? Dude, okay. So in that case, I'm like, well, how much? Like they're probably gonna do. There was an HD remake on Wii U, right? So it'll probably be an HD remake at some point on the Switch. So I just don't know that I need to pay $200 to play Twilight Princess in its, you know, full glory. But beyond that, and the Pokemon game was like $200 too. And the old Pokemon games are like dummy expensive. I'm also not I liked Pokemon, but I didn't play Pokemon past Silver. So I never played anything between Silver and Black and White. I didn't play any of them. I got a DSi because I had like a job at that point. Got a DSi and bought Pokemon Black and played it. Won a 3DS out of one of those one of the key machines where you like have to put the key between the keyhole. I actually won a 3DS out of that. Won that on my honeymoon. I went and bought Pokemon Y, and I played a little bit of Pokemon Y. And I did not play again until Let's Go Pikachu, and then I've only kind of played some of them here and there as my kid's like, can we play them and just check them out? I'm like, sure. So I really want to get the Pokemon games, but I'm like, they're too much. So if I get to a point where if I'm trying to pick up a game and it really is well over its original retail price, I'm like, well, okay, I guess we'll wait to see what happens, because I think with Thousand Year Door, that was a GameCube game that, Paper Mario game that people like adored, but I want to say the price tanked once it came out on the Switch. And so I'm kind of hoping that kind of happens with some of these others, which of course, honestly, I'm not like, since there is no nostalgia there for me, I'm probably, if Twilight Princess, a game that I would honestly like to play because I've never played it, I would probably just play that on the Switch. Like I don't need to have that true GameCube experience, but like a really good one is like the NBA Street games. I only had NBA Street 1. I never had 2 or 3. So I want to pick up Volume 2, I want to pick up Volume 3, try those games out because those were a blast. The NFL Street games, I never personally had them. A couple of my friends did, so we'd go to their house and play it, but I never had it. And I really, really, really want to just like play those games. And again, no, I can emulate them, but I don't want to do that. I want to actually for me, I have a PS3. I have a fat PS3, an original 60 gig PS3 that has an actual PS2 inside it. If you guys care about tech at all, the original PS3s that came out, they weren't emulating PS2s. They literally had PS2s inside them and were natively running PS2 games. Now, before they got rid of backwards compatibility, there are some PS3s that were like emulating PS2 stuff, but if you have an original 60 gig like launch model PS3, I think it's a CECH01, you actually have a true PS2 inside your PS3. Isn't that so cool? I think that's like so cool that there is an entire PS2 inside that, like the broadband engine, like all of that is inside the PS3, the piano black fat original PS3s. So that PS3 is probably one of the best deals in gaming ever because it plays natively PS1, PS2, and PS3 games. So yeah, and like some people were doing some pretty cool things where if you I actually got the yell out of death on my original PS3 and had to send it in with Rock Band 2 and it yell out of death on me while playing Rock Band 2 because man, I put so many hours in Rock Band 1 and 2 and even 3. Oh, that was sick. Why have you not? If you haven't liked the video yet, you definitely did right there, right? I've never heard it do these sound effects. That was awesome.
Now I'll show you a neat trick.
I'll show you a neat trick. The transition to the card art is not very good on this guy, but I love the effect of like the almost feels like a 3D rotation with the ink art. This is another one I really needed Z power on, man. I really wanted to get some rosés. I can't hold you guys. I really wanted to get a rosé. If this wasn't a free step, I actually wouldn't even probably do it because we got another one on him. When are we gonna get Zenkai Ultras? Like real talk, when I really thought before this video would end, I would be able to be like, I can't believe we finally got a Zenkai Ultra. I really thought that we would get an Ultra Zenkai announcement in this anniversary because that original Super Saiyan Goku is seriously 3+ years old. Where is that announcement? So there are rumors that apparently the PS5 is going to get some like very curated, but some level of backwards compatibility with PS3 games. What's probably happening is they are paying some people right now to essentially tweak some of these games to be ran on not the cell processor. I could see, I've done so much, I've actually scripted an entire tech video that is never made over the PS3. When I do like in-depth videos like that, I really try to learn a lot about what I'm talking about, so I know what I'm talking about with it. And I learned a lot about the cell processor and everything that went into making the PS3, and it's a very interesting journey that those devs went on to create the PS3 and really thought that it was going to be the future. And apparently the PS3 cell processor is still to this day, for how old it is, surprisingly powerful. Like it completely demolishes all of its like actual in era processors. Like obviously it's not going to be, if you're running like a recent i9 or an i7 or even an i5, like you're going to kill a almost 20-year-old processor inside the PlayStation 3. But like if we're talking about early 2010 stuff, apparently the cell processor was still so advanced and really hard to take like actual advantage of all of its power, all of like the actual horsepower it had inside of it essentially. And it was why it was so hard to develop for. And the reason I'm bringing all this up is because it's so hard to emulate. Like the RC PS3 people, the emulation software for PS3, those people are putting in like actual like work to make games run on that, because developing for the PS3 it was such a very specific thing, which is why when Mark Cerny came out on stage to announce the PS4, said they were going with an x86 platform and would do so from then on, which is why we can actually put PS4 games into our PS5 and they run natively, because they made sure that they weren't going to have some like complicated process to build out and run games. And also, like when you hear dev stories, it was apparently a nightmare doing multi-plat to dev for both PS3 and 360. So they wanted to make it much easier on the developers and all of that, which then it's a whole nother conversation, because like why have games like slowed down? Like why aren't we getting NFL Street type games these days? Like I don't know, like there are so really cool games. Like I'm not one of those guys that says like there's no games, where are the games, or where are the exclusives? Like there's actually been a ton of PS5 exclusives this year, not from our first party devs, like right, like in terms of actual first party devs, we are still so curious as to what so many of them are doing. Like so many of them haven't even released a PS5 generation game, right? Like it's crazy. Insomniac has just kind of been carrying the PS5 exclusivity on their back, because they've actually released 2, kind of 3 PS5 games, because Miles was a cross-gen. Also, we're in an era where not counting cross-gen releases as PS5 exclusives is kind of weird to me, because we are in just a different era of gaming, and we're not hitting those leaps like we did in the past, right? Like I can put plenty of PS4 games up or PS4 or Xbox One games up next to current day games, and they will still look really damn close to the current day games, or better depending on the game that we're looking at, because I think that we've just hit an era where things just aren't like skyrocketing as much as they used to, right? Like I can load up Witcher 3, which granted it did have an update thanks to the mod community and CD Projekt Red still being like pretty awesome devs, but that game from almost 10 years ago still looks as good as tons of games I can pull up right now. You know, I mean, that game's just like we've hit a world or an era where like we're not going to see like super crazy generational jumps. I just don't believe that anymore, right? Especially when you look at like the jump from PS2 to PS3 and Xbox and to Xbox 360 is so crazy. And trying to do all this while still paying attention to summons, I'm going to stop talking about this because I might start saying blasphemous, and I don't want you guys to get like, I can't believe he's saying this, but I think that judging our current generation and not counting like immaculate games like God of War Ragnarok, I know people that do not count that for some reason as a PS5 exclusive because it released on PS4. Yes, but it was a much inferior version compared to the one that you can play on the PS5. And with that, I don't get how they don't count it. It is a PS5 game. Again, we're just because if we went back, that game is not running on PS3 hardware, even though it can run on PS4. Like, it's just different. The generations are different now. It's different. Anyway, back to just retro game collecting. I also am really wanting to collect some like handhelds too, like because I didn't have. That's why like I love handhelds. Like that's why I have this. I've had this JP bright orange Vita behind me for years now. That's my original PSP. That's like almost. Will the PSP be 20 years old next year? The PSP will be 20 years old next year, man. That's nuts. That is crazy to think about, dude. Holy Zamasu. Would love to get a Gogeta here, by the way. Like, no joke. A Gogeta pickup would be huge. Please, Legends. Please, Legends. Let me see a Gogeta. Let me see a Gogeta. Would have loved the Rose, but you know what? I'll take a Gogeta. Rose, I said that, but I've not used Rose in a minute. Rose is still one of the craziest random monthly releases like we've ever gotten, I think. I guess you could say about every Ultra. But Rose to me just feels, man, never mind. Nearly every Ultra could technically be an anniversary character. Something to me, I don't know why, maybe just because I really like the design of Rose, and Rose is like a character, but I've always like kind of held him on a higher pedestal for some reason. I don't know why, because as I'm saying it, like SSJ2 Gohan could also very much so be a fest or anniversary level Ultra. It'd be interesting to take the Ultras that have been just monthly Ultras and like rank them in terms of like what I personally think are any level hype all the way down to like the bottom. I would say the one to me that sticks out that wouldn't necessarily strike me as like totally like anniversary fest worthy is probably either Janemba or Z Broly, but even those two could be. They weren't, but I feel like they still could be, but I do think they are the least likely of all the Ultras. Like Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, that absolutely could have been one. I'm not sure, obviously, because he's not an LF, so he doesn't do the Spirit Bomb. But if he was like an Ultra LF and he had the Spirit Bomb, like, yeah, that's literally, like, they might even revisit that. Who knows? You know, like that actually is a possibility that they just revisit that form and revisit that character, and he gets another Ultra at some point, but it's an Ultra LF. And I know the Ultra LF has not happened yet, but it will, dude. It will, man. I'm telling you, these games, they have like a progression to them. And at some point, they're going to slap that Legends Limit onto an Ultra, and then an Ultra is now going to have a legendary finish. And it won't even like really be that crazy because all Ultras have an ultimate. So all it is just animating like 10 more seconds, right, to have it be a legendary finish. That's literally all it's going to take, which is honestly kind of crazy to think about. Like all the other effort that goes into them, like I think adding the LF is maybe one of the easier parts, probably. Again, not a 3D animator, so maybe I shouldn't be like just talking out my ass about this, but I do feel like adding the LF to an Ultra is probably not the craziest thing for those guys over there at Dimps to do. Enough about Ultra LFs though, because let's just discuss the 6th anniversary as a whole, right? We are completely done with it. No way. There's no way, dude. Oh my gosh. Legends, no way. On old GB with the rainbow text? No way. Oh gosh. Legends, rainbow text, legends. Oh dude. Wait a second. We about the... Oh, LF? Dude, how many LFs have been in this one video, man? How many LFs have been in this one singular video? Holy cow. Another one? No, just Nappa. So, the 6th anniversary, completely done. What did we think about it? I'm actually curious. Now, this is very deep into the video, but I'm actually curious what you guys thought of the 6th anniversary. Did you like the overall character choice? I know I've seen a lot of people's complaints with the character choices. I think it's mostly just the fusion fatigue from a subsection of the community. I still think fusions are hype. I still enjoy fusion picks. I wouldn't have hated some other choices. And I think that, honestly, while still Sun Family, God Goku and Ultimate Gohan were a nice departure from the fusion formula. I think they were sort of their balance, so that way it sort of felt like we got a good substantial amount of difference across part 1, part 2, and part 3, since they knew part 1 and part 3 were literally fusions. So that was kind of like a cool sort of difference, different part 2 to do. Speaking of 6th anniversary, we're going to go back in on this guy one last time. I know he's been in the video a little bit earlier, but we didn't get a copy of him. I really want to pull him. I know I've already talked in this video that when you're trying to pull for ultras until they finally do update them. Honestly, if you want that character, you might as well go for them while they are on their new, very specific banner, because Gogeta, while he couldn't get better, he's probably the best he's going to ever be right here, right now. So I might as well attempt to pull him in this video with you guys, which I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. It has been a very interesting video to film. I mean, if you know how this game works with these ultra releases, you know that this has been over the span of like a month and a half, closing in on I think almost 2 months of sitting down to film these just different sections of this video. So I hope you guys have really enjoyed this. And I know I sometimes do like compilation style videos, but I wanted to make sure at the beginning that you guys were aware this is not a compilation. This is not grabbing some moments, because I also, there's a lot of you guys that are like crazy awesome, you watch everything I put out, but then there's some of you guys that tune in just randomly, probably more so than not, the random tune in. And so that's why like compilation vids, I think, are a handy thing, because there's just moments that you might miss, and also funny moments that are, or funny or crazy moments that are sometimes like deep into a video that maybe you just never made it to. And I totally get that. We have so many things pulling for our attention span these days that if you didn't make it 45 minutes into one of my videos one time, like, dude, I get it. Like, I promise you, I 100% get it. Now, I want to diverge for a second and talk about something, and it's going to feel like a plug, but it's not really. It's just been a lot of what has taken up a good portion of my time lately, and that's just kind of what I have to talk about. But Dada Doya, the one and only Dato Doya, was here, and we filmed a ton of content for our podcast called Key Moments, and it was a blast, man. And one thing that I realized by doing that is you really only do have like a capacity to film so much content in a subsection of time, just simply from the fact that like you are just limited by time, and you think that these things won't take too long, and they end up taking so much longer than you would expect. And we even did like a set change, and I definitely underestimated how long it takes to do like a complete sort of like set change. And it was just the thing that I love about the podcast, especially when we do the IRL segments, because yes, these are like literally him here. We were sitting right back here filming a ton of podcasts, and one of the things that I enjoy about that aspect of it is that it's so different, and sometimes doing something different can really challenge you, you know, like creatively, mentally, etc. And I always think that's a blast. Like when I'm being challenged, I know we're just like sitting there, most of you are probably like, it's a podcast, you're just yapping. But it is different trying to be interesting and being interesting for an hour or an hour and a half or even 45 minutes, which I know this video you're watching might be an hour long once it's finally like cut down, put together, and everything like that. But still, it's so cool getting to have that outlet. So for those of you that do support the podcast, I absolutely appreciate you. If this is your first time hearing about it, it's called Key Moments. We talk about a lot of different things, but we our subtitle is an anime podcast. What is it downloading? What is it having to download right now? Why would I be having to download literally anything? Jocko? There's no way it's Ultra Gogeta, because I've literally watched the Ultra Gogeta animation on this iPad just the other day. What was it downloading for? Am I getting an EX I don't have? What is happening? Okay. But I need to see Super Saiyan. Dude. What could it possibly... Is it Sin? No? Who did it just download for? I haven't done a download at all since Sin came out. Was it Sin Shinron? I 100% just got downloading for Sin Shinron. I was confused though, 100%. Let me show you. Dude, I'm on a completely different banner and he is still showing up in my face. Get away from me, Vegito. No one cares, man. You and me. I'm sorry. You had your time to be an Ultra like 2 years ago. You're like 5 years and some change old. No one cares, Vegito. No one cares. Can you guys believe I just got Rainbow Text earlier? And I didn't get an Ultra. And now here we are on 2X again. And no Rainbow Text. Probably no Ultra. Like, what is life, man? I really just want to get another Ultra Gogeta 4. Is that so much to ask for? It is actually. It's a ton. My Ultra Good D4 right now. I don't know how deep I am specifically at this very second, but he's 3 copies. I have 3 copies, and you need 5 copies to completely like max out in Ultra. I feel like I had another point as to why I brought up key moments, and then I got distracted by the summons, and now I don't remember what I was gonna say, and that's frustrating. But Dada was here for an entire week. It's basically been my like literal entire week of just recording. So that's kind of why I know that's why I brought it up. But there was a side reason to why I was bringing that up, and it has totally and 100% left me. This is the one. Here we go. 2x step. This has got to be the one. All right. We're a few CC down since the last time. Oh my gosh. 2x step. It means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Dude, it's all been green skies. There's a reason that you just cut and you haven't seen the last like 6,000 or 9,000 CC because it has been nothing but green skies. Nothing but green skies. It's so crazy. UL 2X, man. SSJ3 animation, UL 2X, probably a lie. I mean, it is 2X, but it's still just a 0.07% chance. So it's not like, let's just be honest with ourselves for a second here. I'm getting an SP Golden Frieza.
Gonna take you down.
Blue skies as I live and breathe. Come on. Instant transmission. The secret animation of the gods to actually pull an Ultra in this game.
I'll handle this.
Please. Get all the ice out of my mouth. I don't want to choke on ice here in case there's an Ultra pull in this. There is something. Oh, it's an LF.
Sorry, the same move.
Sorry, the same move. Shut up. Do you honestly believe that you would pull an Ultra? Yes.
It's mine.
Come on, man. Toshi, bro, why do you hate me, man? What did I do to you, Toshi? That's a better animation than I've been getting. Besides, I mean, we got blue, but blue. Blues. I don't know. Have you guys ever lost when it wasn't Golden Frieza? I'm not even sure that's even a thing, you know? Imagine I'm tapping kind of fast on the screen. Imagine I accidentally tapped skip and it was an Ultra pull. As I've been literally anticipating an Ultra pull on the Ultra Gogeta 4 banner. Suck, dude. Pan? Come on, dude. Please. Blue skies. Nimbus. I am so many CC deep right now. Oh my gosh. The secret animation of the gods. Spirit Bomb animation to pull an Ultra. Can it happen? Let's find out right now. Please. Ultra. Do not give me a Legends Limited. I pulled so many Legends Limited. Please let it. No. It's mocking me.
I can't. Don't know.
I'll show you.
UL 2X, please. UL 2X, please. Blue, Nim, please, bro. Father, father, father. Let's go, dude. After that multi, you play with my heart, bro. I'm like 20,000 more deep right now. Please, bro. Where are you at? Where are you at? Oh my gosh. Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Let's see that beautiful, beautiful Ultra animation popping in. You know we all love it. Wait. Get out of here. Get out of here. There he is. Yes, it does. Almost as special as them liking this video right now.
I am neither Goku nor Vegeta.
Yes.
I'm the guy who's going to stop you.
Let's go. Oh my gosh, dude. That's what's up, man. Red 5.
You can't beat me.
Space. Hang on. Hang on, I gotta sit up. Hang on. I gotta sit up. What if it gave me rainbow? And I've been asking to Broly. Dude, please. Come on. Legends, come on. I'm pretty deep. All right, let's see. Will we get the infamous, like, rarest animation in the game, the Shattered Dimension? There's no way, right? Nope. Back to back! Back to back! It was the last of the other multi and the first of this multi. What?
Goku nor Vegeta.
Back to back?
I'm the guy who's going to stop
Why haven't you liked the video for real, bro? Oh my god. Thank you, Legends. Papa Gogeta coming through. Legends. Thank you. Oh my gosh. We are back to back. Literally the last card, last character of the previous multi into the first character of this multi. Absolutely insane. And it could have shattered the dimension, but it chose not to. That's a Red 7 Gogeta, and that is me summoning for every single ultra in the game. Here you go. You can click on this video right here, and I know you guys are going to enjoy it. Bye.